me to the edge of the world, telling stories of black kings and queens.
It's Utah, baby.
Every topic, every voice, like a new kind of pearl. Shining light on truths to make the future swirl. It's real talk, baby. El Frank and Shy Blue coming through, baby. Real topics, real stuff for the people, baby. Buckle up and let's roll with real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. And it ain't no me without you, baby. It's you talk, baby. And it ain't no me without you, baby. From the heart of the city to the edge of the world.
It's Utah, baby.
Black kings and queens, but both that I'm from. Every time we carry.
Yo.
Hey.
It's been a minute. What's happening? What's happening?
Yes. How are you, Larry?
You know what? I'm good. I think, like everybody else, that story, the news about Malcolm Jamal Warner kind of got me. It just threw me off.
Yeah.
Because I think for all of us, man, we grew up watching him. You know, it's Theo. So I'm good though. I'm good. That just got me in a little somber mood. But other than that, I'm good. But let me flip it. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just got back in town today from Baltimore. I was there for a whole week. My mom's birthday was yesterday. You know, unfortunately, my uncle had passed. One of my uncles had passed. So it was a busy week. But yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
That's what's up. So
Yep.
You ready to roll? You ready to do this?
Always.
Well, you know how we start every show.
How we
ain't
start,
no
Larry?
us. And ain't no us
Without you, baby.
Oh yeah. You Talk family and Real Talk family, welcome to the program. I know it's been a minute. Life been lifing for the both of us. We've been having all kinds of stuff going on ever since we had to go to the A and stuff like that. And ironically, we went to the A. I'm gonna go ahead on in a second. I'm gonna let Shy tell you about her stuff, because Lord have mercy, that was just wild. I don't know how anybody could have done what you did, sis.
Crazy.
That was wild.
Crazy.
That was wild.
Yeah.
But before I flip it to you and let you do that, let me go ahead and get the normal business out the way as usual.
Okay.
With our normal shout outs. Obviously, first shout out of the night has to go to, as I call him, the man, the myth, the legend, the proprietor, and the creator of U-Talk and the U-Talk Network himself. Our man, our brother, our homie, our partner, and most importantly, the boss. Devin Lloyd, aka D. What's up, bro?
Woo! We love you, D.
Much love, my brother. Much love. Second shout out of the night, as always, has to go to the super producer, the man that keeps all of the engineering stuff, keeps these mics going up, keeps these cameras working, keeps everything. Without him, it really wouldn't happen. Nothing will happen. Shouts out to our guy, man, brother Marquise, man. KJ Productions is in the building. What's up, Marquise?
Hey.
All right, I see we got some comments in the building. Miss Katie says, LFJ, Miss Shy, what's up, Miss Katie? And our guy, Antonio Abner, what it do, bro? What it do? Yes, sir, double A. Third shout out of the night, as always, has to go to the man behind the merchandise, the man behind all the great designs, our brother, Mr. Joseph Bernard, B. Nod, aka Overton Wakefield Bernard. He's gonna always be Overton Wakefield Bernard.
One day he's gonna get you.
He had his opportunity. He had his opportunity 3 weeks ago, and he did. Matter of fact, you know what? You just reminded me of something. Boots on the Ground is his new song.
Oh, I'm so tired of that song. Like
he is too. That's why it's his song. We was ragging him, and when he sees this, I already know he gonna call me after the show. He gonna call me.
I bet you he is, because that song. Oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing it. You know, I heard that on the Carnival cruises, they can't play that song. Did you hear about that?
I'm leaving. Me and my wife anniversary. We're leaving Sunday to go on a cruise, and yeah, that was one of the things I was looking at. I saw that they changed it up. That and I think if you're under 18, there's a curfew or something like that for
Yes,
the
a
kids.
curfew. They can't play any hip hop music anymore. Like
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
do the alcohol package or something like that anymore with Carnival. But it's just with Carnival. It's not like
It's with
all the
Carnival.
cruises, but it's just with Carnival. They're like really getting strict because
Right.
been a lot going on with them Carnival cruises than us people.
Our people don't know how to act, but that's another show conversation. We'll get into
Absolutely.
that. We'll get into that. But
Absolutely.
we round these shout outs tonight. 4th shout out of the night, as always, goes to the viewing audience. Thank you for locking in with us, to the live viewers, to everybody that's watching us on all the streaming platforms. I'm talking TikTok, I'm talking Kick, I'm talking Twitch, I'm talking Instagram. If you're watching us right now live, or if you're going to watch the rewatch via YouTube or wherever outlet you watch it, we thank you for taking your time, be it live or in the replay mode, to watch us. Thank you for that. And as always, the final shout out of the night has to go to, I guess I got the hat on. I'm Jordan. I'm repping my Bulls. So I'm gonna go ahead on and lob it over to Pippen over here. Thank you for all that you provide for the show, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Most
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you too, my brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we get into the show tonight, we hinted at it. Man, tell them about what happened with you in Atlanta, because we were supposed to have this big old photo shoot, which we did have, but you didn't make it. I'm gonna let you have the floor. Go ahead, sis. Tell them.
First of all, I'm gonna say this. I will never fly Frontier ever again in my life. Okay. I booked did I book it on a Thursday? Or did I book it on Friday? I think I booked it on Friday. It canceled. My flight canceled. They said, okay, we have another flight within an hour. So I said, okay, cool. Shouldn't be no problem. They canceled that flight. They were stating something about the power was down in Atlanta. So all the flights coming into Atlanta and leaving Atlanta had to stop, was canceled. Long story short, they rescheduled it till the next day. I was all the way in Orlando. I had to catch an Uber from Orlando all the way to Tampa, coming in the next day. I mean, when I say it was just so much back and forth, I was like over it. Thought I was still going to make it. My brother, Devin, tried to reschedule the photo shoot to give me some time to make it there. I still didn't get a chance to even make it. Like, I was so upset, so sad. Then my brothers, they all showed me some of the pictures they took. It turned out really great. I wish I could have been there, but we're going to do another one soon. I think Devin said, next month, maybe, Larry? Maybe in New Orleans this time.
We trying to iron out a location and some dates, but we're going to definitely make it happen. Real quick, Miss Katie has a request. Miss Katie says, Miss Shy, where can I follow you on social media?
Oh, okay. Well, my personal page is Uno, UNO _ Shy, SHY, always with a Z. Uno _ Shy, always with a Z.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So before we get into the show tonight, I want to first say that at the end of the show, we're going to have a special announcement that we're going to make as it pertains to the show. So we want everybody to kind of buckle up and get ready, because it's going to be something that I think most of the fans of the show are going to really like. But what I want to do is, since we're on the subject of high value women, and last time we talked about the high value men in our lid, I'm going to go ahead on and deflect to Sis. And I'm going to let Sis go ahead on and be the moderator for this one, because the thing is, the topic is, do real men recognize what a high value woman is? So it don't make no sense for me to talk about a high value woman. I ain't no high value. I ain't even a woman. So, Sis, I'm going to lob it all to you. You ready?
Okay, absolutely. Well, you're going to definitely have to piggyback, because
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I think you have a good idea what a high value woman is, because I know my sis is definitely a high value woman. But for my opinion, being a high value woman, the number one thing that I will honestly say that I actually do with myself, I set and I enforce healthy boundaries in relationships and friendships, and that's for my self-respect. I have to set boundaries. If I allow people to come in my life just to disrespect me, mistreat me, and I tolerate that, I feel like I'm not looking and viewing myself as a high value woman. So to do that, I have to be able to have self-respect for myself and to set healthy boundaries. Number two, I feel like another great point is emotional intelligence. I said that for a high value man as well. I think it goes both ways. It's all about communication and understanding my emotions and how I respond and being mature enough to respond with empathy and maturity, things like that. I try to avoid drama, and I don't seek validation through chaos, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
And
Perfect
I
sense.
think
Yes.
that's a huge part of being a high value woman. Number three, I would say confidence. And I don't want you guys to confuse confidence with arrogance. Just being confident. I'm secure on who I am mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't compete for attention. And I think I naturally, I naturally draw that type of attention because I don't compete and I know my value and I know who I am, so I think that's a huge point. Knowing your purpose, Larry, I think is a huge thing as well. Purpose driven. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You good. You good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you because you was frozen. Just being purposely driven. I have goals, I have passions, things like that. I'm focused on my career, like creativity, my family. I think also some people might disagree, but I think a part of being a high value woman is having grace. Having grace. I present myself with class, charm, things like that. And I just set high values for myself. I don't want to have a long list, but I think another thing is having integrity. I keep my word. I own up to my mistakes. I don't pretend to be somebody else that I'm not. Things like that. And I just set my standards. I think those points are definitely part of being a high value woman. Would you agree?
Yeah, I
What
would
you think about
definitely
my
agree.
list?
I think you're pretty much on point, because when you start talking about emotional intelligence, and I love that, I love that phrase, because emotional intelligence on both sides for men and women, we got to be able to be smart enough to not let our emotions overtake us in certain situations. We got to be able to, if something pops off, if you're in your 20s, that's one thing, but when you're in your 40s and beyond and beyond and above, you got to be cool. You got to be real cool. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people tend to forget that emotional intelligence is a must. I think also that positive mindset, you have to set forth that positive mindset to be able to attract a higher, this goes both ways. The positive mindset is going to attract, I think, a higher standard of men for the women or women for the men. Mr. K says these sound like points to attract a woman rather than a man. Ooh.
Why would you say that?
Ooh.
Why would you say that? Because when I'm having conversations with men, or when we're on the podcast, Larry, you could back me up. A lot of issues, for example, a woman not being emotionally available. They're not being vulnerable. They're not being submissive. They're not good listeners sometimes. Like, these are some of the issues that men have in women. So how would my points be strictly to attract a woman and not a man?
But
integrity,
that might be, and I'm just Mr. K. I'm gonna throw this at you. So come on back if you can, Mr. K.
Please do.
That might be where a man, and why we're having this show tonight, part 2 of the high value series, that might be where a man may not recognize and understand what a high value woman is.
Exactly.
Because when I was younger, a lot of those traits I didn't understand, but being in my present state of mind, now granted I am married, but I still recognize what these traits are for a woman. So I think most men, if you have reached a certain stage of life, everything you named, if you're a man and you are older man and you don't recognize this, or you can't, more importantly, identify these traits, you might have to take a refresher course on what women and high value women are, because it's
that comment threw me all the way left. I don't understand that. Like, please, I want him to hopefully hop on here and explain a little bit in detail what he's trying to say, because what did I say that would not attract a man, or I guess will push a man away? I would say
the link is up. The link is up. So Mr. K, if you'd like to chime in, you can either come on camera, or if you want to keep the camera off, if you're available. Either way, we're inviting you, Mr. K. Please. Well, Shy's inviting you because Shy want the smoke.
Please, because I want to know. Because I'm like, Larry, honestly, out of all the things I've said, and this is just a few, was anything that I said was a little off, or you might not have agreed?
No, because when I was looking at the show and really kind of looking at different qualities and this and that, everything you said is basically stuff that I came across, and it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. My guy Brandon Brock, let me see. Mr. Brock, good evening, everyone. LFJ, what up, bro? This is a good subject here. Appreciate you, Mr. Brock. Are you on the road tonight, or you at home, Mr. Brock? That's our guy, man. He's always on the Hurricane show with us, representing Fort Worth, Texas. He usually be on the road, but he's chiming in tonight. So, yeah, okay. I mean, I think, the fact that a lot of men may not understand fully those values, I think it also goes to say it's a possibility, and a strong one at that while a lot of men may not understand those traits, you may have a small percentage that may not like those traits, that are intimidated.
Not just like Larry, but can't handle a high valued woman.
She going there tonight, though.
That's where I'm about to go at, because it's not about if you like it or not. It's, can you really handle that? A woman, a high value woman?
Boy,
you say you want it. I'm home at alcohol.
Oh, Brandon, Mr. Brock says he's home. He did 80 hours. We got you. Go ahead, sis.
Because I've been in situations where a guy would say, I want this, this, and that. Okay, you have it, but then you don't even know what to do with it. You don't know what to do with it or how to handle it. I mean, and the same goes for some women that are dating high value men. So I don't want you guys to feel like I'm just coming down on y'all, but sometimes it goes both ways. You got to be careful what you ask for, so Mr. K sounds like a guy conditioned by society to see himself as the dominant instead of a partner.
Oh, the fireworks is popping tonight. It ain't the 4th of July no more, but boy, we got some fireworks up in here tonight. Fellas, we done dominated ever since this show came on, but it ain't looking too good, fellas. Y'all might want to represent, because right now y'all getting boxed out by just 2 ladies up in here, one on the side of me and one in the chat. I mean,
so Larry, how long did it take for you to really recognize and realize what a high value woman really was or is? Was it a while? Like, was it maybe like in your 20s or your 30s, where it's like you've been through some, uphill battles with some women, and you kind of figure out what you didn't want and what you did want, and you was kind of able to really pinpoint exactly like this is what's considered a high value woman? Did you have an example from seeing your mom? Like, when did you really?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think the term high value, either or on either side, men or women, high value really wasn't used in my era coming up. And then when I was a teenager, started dating prior to meeting my wife, high value was just a term not used. But given the characteristics that you've listed, I can go back looking at my mother and say she is a high value woman. And my wife, I can say, is a high value woman.
Okay.
If we would have had a better understanding, like we're having this conversation tonight, I think it would have been a lot easier to identify. But I can honestly say that, yeah, I've seen those examples now that we do. Miss Katie says I'm just a pup, so y'all schooling me. That's what we aim to do. Man on a mission. Benny Barrett, what's cracking, Real Talk family? Elephant Shy, good to see y'all. Good to see you too, brother. Good to see you. So I always put myself in these shoes right here. If I weren't married, because it's hard, like a lot of this stuff is hard for me because I'm married. It don't apply to me, you know. But if I weren't married, I'm looking at the characteristics of a high value woman. I think that my standards would be so high that I would cut off a lot of women that don't exude those characteristics, because it's nothing more aggravating to me than when I see women talking loud and being obnoxious. I can't stand that. I hate that. Dolphin Derek, what up, bro? What's happening?
Telling you, that gets under my skin.
When you're talking loud, fighting, being ignorant, cussing, not being a lady, not being ladylike, that to me is just, I just don't see how fellas can deal with that.
Yes.
Period.
I was on the phone with a good friend of mine a couple of days ago, and he was talking to one of his female friends. She was they was out eating or something, and she was just, every other word was like a curse word. Like every other word, like, and I'm just like, can you call me back? You know, because I couldn't even tolerate, like I couldn't even be around it. Like, come on. And you know, it's just certain things that I see, even like on these reality TV shows. It gives such a bad example of what a high value woman is. And it's like all these young women are watching these shows and, you know, constantly looking at them and wanting to be like them. And it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, no.
What's up, Miss T? How you doing tonight? Good to see you.
Hey,
thanks for locking
T.
in. You know where I think those reality shows went bad?
You said, do I know when?
Yeah. You know when I think they started to turn bad?
Hold on, let me think about that. I think my opinion would probably be like back when Jerry Springer and Ricky Lake. Back then.
Yeah, I can see your point in that.
Because that's when the reality shows started to come out,
but
the fighting
and all of that was bad. But I think the actual negative depiction of the Black woman really went south.
When then?
Flavor of Love.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I agree.
You got to remember, Flavor of Love, that was pretty much the dawning of reality TV. Because remember, reality TV really started back in '93 with The Real World. But and like if I look at The Real World, if I go back and look at College Hill when it was on BET, now I'm talking about College Hill before it got ratchet. I'm talking about you know, when it was actually about something. Yeah. Reality TV was actually good for one point. However, they started making it about entertainment. And in order to be entertaining, you had to have ratchetness. So for me, Flavor of Love, I think, was the dawning and the beginning of just that negative depiction of Black women as we saw them, because I can't remember another show where I saw more sisters fighting and being disrespectful and being everything that's not listed as high value. You know what I'm saying? And then it went on from there, and then it to the Real Housewives. And look, D will tell you, me and Devin talk about this all the time. I don't even watch that. I can't even tell you about Portia, and I only know a little bit about them because of the headlines that I read. I have not watched no Real Housewives. I can't even think of the other shows because I watched Flavor of Love because obviously Flavor Flav, that's my era. I grew up watching Flavor Flav. But I thought it was entertaining. But when I just saw how, and you know the sad part, that's how I know that the maturation for me as a man really took place, because back then That was my later 20s. Yeah, because Flavor of Love was like 2005, 2006. So I was like
Okay.
28, 29 at the time. So it was entertainment. I watched it a couple of months back on YouTube. I watched some episodes and just went back reminiscing. I couldn't watch it.
I know, it's so crazy, right? I know,
Facts.
I know. Show my language of football.
She go hard. She go hard on Utah.
For real.
Miss Katie go hard on Utah. Like
She
Miss
said,
Katie
y'all
don't
made
play.
her stop controlling her language on football.
Hey, Miss Katie go harder than some dudes on Utah. When we start talking football, Miss Katie
Listen.
don't play. She don't play. She don't play.
Yes.
But
yeah, so go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry.
no, I was just gonna say, let me put the link up again. I said I'm gonna call the fellas out. I don't know if any fellas is watching. I'm gonna put the link up, fellas. If you want to chime in, because this show is really for y'all. They ain't talking to me. I know what a high value woman is. I'm married to one and I'm born from one. So,
But
hey,
you know what, Larry? I feel like sometimes in certain situations,
mhm,
I feel like men do know what a high value woman is,
mhm.
but they don't want a high value woman. Honestly,
Now, why is that? Why do you think that?
I think, like Katie was saying, the control part, and how can I say? It's a certain
Intimidation,
balance
maybe?
yeah, absolutely. It's
Okay.
a certain level of tolerance and standards is what I was mentioning for a high value woman. They're just a high value woman's not going to tolerate a lot of stuff, a lot of things. You understand what I'm saying? And she's going to question certain things. She's going to be able to communicate a certain way. And it's like you have a lot of men that are narcissists in relationships, things like that, are manipulators. And I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying with certain guys, and having a high value woman that don't really want that. So it's like, a lot of men say that they want all these things, but some men just can't handle it. They don't really want it at the end of the day. That's what I said. You gotta watch what you ask for, because I've been in situations and relationships as a high value woman that the guy that I might have been dating would belittle me to make me feel like the traits that I have as a high value woman were wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
it was that reverse psychology, but that's part of like mental abuse. That's a whole nother episode. Right. But however, being a high value woman, you have to understand your purpose. You have to understand your standards and what to tolerate, what not to tolerate. And in my younger years, I was battling that because it's like, oh, it's okay if he does this. And if I tolerate these certain things, it's like I was losing the value of myself. I was losing who I was as a woman, and then when I got to a certain point in my life and maturity and understanding and clarity, I said enough is enough. Like I know who I am. And as a high value woman, if I see myself as that, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to keep staying in a relationship after you keep cheating on me or entertaining certain things. I'm not going to tolerate. I don't care how much I love you. But as a queen, as a high value woman, I'm not going to tolerate this. So I learned how to set my boundaries and be able to walk away from situations that I knew was not for me, So but it takes time because I'm still working on certain things to even become a better high value woman. Because everyone has their flaws. No one's perfect.
Right. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick, because this is something that I want to know. I can remember when women. Why you said it like that? I'm just about to ask a simple question. Why you said it like that? Like,
go ahead.
All right. Talk about, oh God, like I'm about to.
Never know. I never know. But go ahead.
All right. So I'm thinking about women back in the day, talking about like our parents, grandparents. And I know it was a different time and they had to put up with so much. They had to deal with so much. And at what point do you think the transition, the transition went from the previous generation of accepting what men did or not wanting to elevate oneself as a woman? At what point do you think that transition went from that to women, asserting themselves to start exuding all these characteristics that you named and stuff like that? Because everything you start talking about the emotional intelligence. You start talking about self-discipline and all of that stuff. Women put up with a lot. And if you put up with a lot as a woman and accept what's given to you from a man that ain't doing right, that lowers your value, in my opinion. So when do you think the transition went from that era to the era of woman that we see now, where it's okay for a woman to up her value?
That's a good question. Because like just growing up from the earlier generations, like my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, I experienced seeing my aunts and even my mother and my grandmother, they would stay in these relationships for years, even if it was my uncle's cheating or whatever case, physical abuse, mental abuse, they will always stay. You know, you hear your grandparents being married for 40, 50 years. It's like granddaddy used to leave out from the sneak at the back door and go see the next door neighbor, and you just see them stay. You see them tolerate certain things, you know? So it was more just like, that's how we were raised, basically, to like, you stick it out. But I think with just life changing in general, like even in the work environment and more women becoming CEOs and having power and even with reality TV, kind of just seeing certain things. And I think women just getting tired, you know, just getting tired of the same old thing and just being hurt. It's just like, okay, I'm staying, but this man is not changing, you know, or situations like that. I don't know when that transition probably started. I would say probably the early 2000s, like 2000, maybe 10, I think. That's when you really start seeing that transition to like women having like self-power, the Me Too movement, things like that, women having to speak up more and having a voice. I think that's when you start seeing like more, you know, the change more. My opinion. How about you? When do you think you probably seen that?
When I think about all the characteristics of a high value woman, and I know it was television, but I think the best example of a high value woman, old school, I'm talking like back in the day, Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable was, and like I said, I know that's TV. Yeah. But she was an example to what a high value woman is, because if you look at her character, she was very strong. She stood on business. She, great mother. Remember all of the times her and Elvin went at it when Elvin was being misogynistic, talking about a woman's place and all of that.
Absolutely.
She didn't play.
She came through.
She did not play. And I think that was a good example. And I think, you know, for young Black girls growing up at that time, I think Claire Huxtable was probably outside of what you saw in real life. I think she was an example, and we're talking about the 80s now. We're talking about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if more people, more ladies, more young girls back then would have kind of attached themselves, not necessarily to her profession of being a lawyer, because everybody can't be a lawyer, but everybody growing up at that time had the ability to grow into becoming strong and assertive in their nature and standing on business like she did. And you saw the respect that Cliff had, even though it was TV. You saw the respect that he as a husband had for his wife.
Yeah, absolutely. But she remained the same on camera and off camera.
Yes. Yes.
You notice that?
Yes.
Even to this day, that her presence is just so amazing. Like,
yes. 75 years old. She's very stoic.
75?
She is 75.
Wow, she looks amazing still.
75.
Wow. But another good example for like the younger generation at that time is Different World. The different World. I feel like they did a great example of, you know, young adults, you know, being able to express and communicate in a very mature manner, you know, handle themselves very well, things like that. So I think that was another good example of the Different World. But we don't have those shows anymore like that. We don't have a lot of examples.
You gotta watch. I mean, if you have the younger generation and you want to put them on to some good television that'll really kind of give them examples. And really, you know, it's strange because I can remember being, a kid in the 80s and the 90s, teen, watching shows from the 70s and thinking how ancient it was.
I know.
My Lord, look how I feel now watching Fresh Prince. I remember when Fresh Prince was live on television. Mr. Dudley, he read my mind because I was going to go to this next one right here. I think she's one of the worst examples of a woman. I'm just being honest. We did not understand how detrimental Florida Evans was to that household. Look, my good times people, I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, absolutely. Shouts out to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yep, definitely. My good times fans, look, Florida wasn't no good. I'm sorry.
What do you think was the main thing that did not make her a high value woman? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, I mean, as a high value woman, and I get it. I know that everything that James may have wanted to do, or everything that JJ wanted to do, man, she was just a cock blocker. Like every time they had something going on and it was time to, all right, prime example, okay? You're in the ghetto, and everybody gonna know where I'm going with this. You're in the ghetto.
Okay.
All right, you're trying to get out the ghetto for years. Well, when you had the preacher that was gonna take James and JJ on the road and pay them all that money, wanted JJ to roll himself in the wheelchair and fall out, and act like he got healed and gonna pay at that time in the 70s $50 a day, which was good money, right?
Okay.
And then Florida had a problem with it. But you're also up here struggling in a 2-bedroom apartment, barely got food in the refrigerator, but you don't want to let James do what he got to do. Okay. Or what about when James wanted to take that job in Alaska?
Okay.
And Michael was getting in trouble, starting to run with a gang. Okay. Florida blocked him from wanting to do that. And if she'd have let James be James, all James had to do take that belt off and light Michael's ass up. That's all he had to do. Because I know when my daddy was gone, he could call on the phone. And if I was doing wrong and my mama threatened to say what I was doing, I was going to chill out. Because my daddy had that power over me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
She was just a hater, man. She was
Larry, you getting your feelings about Miss Florida Evans, boy.
That woman, it just gets on my nerves. That woman gets on my nerves when I think about it and look at her. And like I said, it was a character. Nothing against Miss Esther Rowe, God rest her soul. But that character that they wrote for her to play on that show, shit, hell no.
Now, Alex says Oprah Winfrey is the definition of a high value woman. Now, I've heard some things about Oprah behind the scenes, things like that. Now, in front of the camera, she seems like a very great example of what a high value woman is.
Right.
But from reading articles and hearing interviews with other women, people would say something totally different about Miss Oprah. But you just never know. People show you something in front of the camera is a totally different things behind closed doors. But for what I see on TV and television in past 20 years of seeing Oprah on television, she does look like she is a true definition of a high value woman. Yes, absolutely. Mama Evans was a beast, mama.
She was something else, but I ain't gonna get disrespectful. I'm gonna leave that at that.
It was not her, it was the writers.
And you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. Go ahead.
They probably wanted to portray her as that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They wanted to portray her as that because they portray a lot of women that were living in the ghetto or, not as fortunate. They wanted to portray the Black woman as being like that, aggressive and loud and, things like that. So, I absolutely agree. It was the writers.
But the irony of that is Norman Lear and his writing team did Good Times. And if I'm not mistaken, they also did The Jeffersons. And look how Weezy was so sophisticated, so.
But you know why?
Because George was a hothead.
Because they
had that money.
They try to make it seem as if you have money, you're high
Bougie.
class, you're high value, you know how to, control yourself. But if you was living in the ghetto and you're in a situation that like Miss Evans was, you have to be loud, you have to be ghetto, things like that. So when we were watching these television shows, that's what we identified that as,
Right. Devin.
If I live in the hood, I gotta be loud, I gotta be cursing and be aggressive. Like
That's crazy. Devin got a little response to your
What'd he
Oprah.
say?
Said, not if she was on Epstein Island. Talking about Oprah. Hey,
Hold on, they said she was on the island too.
there's the list.
They did
that
not
came out.
say Oprah was on the island,
The
Larry.
list that was on the internet. She was believed to have been a part of that list.
What?
Anybody big in Hollywood, I'm talking about the mega stars.
You know
It's
what?
believed. What?
All this stuff coming out about Tyler too, Perry. You hear about that? You hear about Tyler?
I heard about Tyler, but it ain't about no young girls. Maybe some young boys, but not no young girl. But that's another story. I ain't gonna get into that.
But they best friends. But yeah, that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Mr. Alex says the better question is, do men nowadays deserve a high value woman? That's a good question. Do they deserve a high value woman? Shy?
I'm gonna watch what I say. Oh, let me.
No, this real talk.
Let me
This
choose
real
my
talk.
words wisely.
You don't choose nothing. This real talk, so talk real. What you got to
As
say?
a high value woman, I have to think about what I say before I say it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say all men, okay, because there are some great men that are out here. There are some great high value men that deserve high value women. But my God, if it's not extremely difficult to find a man that appreciates and know how to handle a high value woman, please send them down right here. Like, so it's very difficult. The dating scene and just everything about that, like it's very difficult.
So,
I have go ahead, Larry.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's fresh in my head. I want to ask you, so is part of a high value woman, or does it devalue? Okay, does a woman being a high value woman be devalued if maybe she may not know what she's getting into as far as what a man? Because remember what I've always said. Remember what I always said about like what I always tried to teach my daughters. I got grown women as daughters. You can't hear me?
Can't hear you, Larry. Can you hear me?
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. That means I know.
There you go.
All right. I'm about to say, I was wondering. I said, uh-oh, I must be about to rock the boat with what I was about to ask.
Listen, you might be. Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
Not trying to stop it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna ask it anyway. So is a woman that's high value, is her value devalued if she has a problem picking the right guys because she hadn't set her standards high enough in her younger years?
Well, I just think it's a learning thing, like I feel like that's how I was. Like I didn't really understand my value. I didn't know what a high value really was, a value woman was, I thought I was a high value woman 10 years ago, but I wasn't setting my standards. I was still tolerating BS. I was still tolerating low vibrations from people and my friends and just the people I was dating. So it's like I didn't really understand what it meant to be a high value woman until I really went to therapy and I started healing and doing things that I needed to do to grow and become a better woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like I think even now to this day, there's things that I'm still working on. Like I don't think that there's a woman out here today that just has it all her shit together, emotionally, physically, mentally.
Right.
There's not a man that has all his shit together. There's just not. Like let's be honest, but it's the fact that when you do recognize your flaws or you're able to take constructive criticism from the opposite sex or from your your significant other, and you learn and you grow from the things and you try to get better. That's where, you know, you really start to become the high value person that you're supposed to be. It's all about change. It's all about growth, you know, and learning and fixing your mistakes. But there's no one perfect, guys. It's not like Prince Charming is going to fall off that horse and just say, "Shy, here I am." You know, I know he's going to probably come to me with some things that I won't accept, but I am willing to work with him, or I'm willing to negotiate certain things and allow him to become the person or the man that he needs to become. There's certain things though, like it's certain things that I would do that for. But as far as like maybe being emotionally intelligent, a lot of men are not emotionally intelligent, you know, but is he willing to make the changes and work on those things? You know, it's like, you know, what is it called? The 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Like the 80% of the things that you will accept and the 20 things that are non-negotiable.
Correct.
You know, when it comes to your significant other. So it's kind of like, you know, I have my standards, but there's some things that I will negotiate and work with you on, you know. It says, Alex says, in my opinion, nowadays, culture, value, ethics, modesty, and discipline are definitely missing in this generation now. I agree. I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I agree.
You know who I think is a real good example of a high value woman, modern day, current day right now. And I know a lot of people, you either love her or you hate her.
Ooh.
Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, that is a good one.
Jasmine
That
Crockett.
was a good one, Larry.
Because when I tell you to be in the position that Jasmine Crockett is in Congress, not just as a woman dealing with all those other men, but as a Black woman dealing with all those men. And at the same time, as a Black woman, you got white women who are they're gonna conform to those other men that's in Congress because they're not gonna speak up like that. For Jasmine Crockett to stand 10 toes down every time there's an issue or something that has to be discussed, and for Jasmine Crockett to have gone head to head against Trump the way that she does, and against those speakers, that's a high value woman. Now, I ain't just talking about monetarily, because I think she is a lawyer and she's got, you know, her money right, obviously, but all her standards and characteristics.
Is she married?
No, I don't think she is. No, I don't even think she's dealing with anybody. If she is, she's keeping it secret. But guess what? What brother is strong enough to deal with her?
I was just about to say that a lot of times these women that has a lot of power in like the work field and things like that, a lot of them are single. You notice that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's the balance. Like it's the balance that you need to have. Like, I don't know, like I just feel like I even have friends that are, you know, CEOs of companies and things like that. And very sweet women, you know, very nice, very outgoing. But sometimes it's like they don't know what to do with that power.
Right.
Like they deal, like in their relationships, they treat their significant other as if that's one of their employees.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yeah, no, I wouldn't consider that to be a high value woman when you're belittling your man. Like that's just, you know, because you don't know what to do with the power that you have. Women are not the same. Ladies more like throwback men now.
That's our guy Kyle Stalling. He's off our hurricane show, but Kyle, keep it a buck. I'm gonna hit these comments because these comments starting to jump a little bit. Miss Katie says, here in Miami Beach, too many young men and women think superficial is a high value.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
And she also loves her some Jasmine Crockett.
I know, me too, Katie.
Kyle Stalling, young men not learning the right look. That's true. That's true. Them young bucks not learning.
What you mean young men are not learning the right look?
I don't know if he'll come on. Kyle, I'm gonna put the link. You've been on with us before. If you got time and an opportunity, the link is up, Kyle. Hit that link and come on through. Yeah, that's something he would have to. I'm thinking when he says young men not learning the right not learning the right look. I'm thinking he's talking about how they carry themselves, the oculars, as far as it's concerned for a woman to like
Okay.
it. Because
Okay.
older women,
Okay.
I mean, younger women are gravitating towards older men because older men have that classic, it is, it's self-explanatory. Mr. Dudley, we got to stop giving a false narrative about Prince Charming and Cinderella.
Mm.
Hold on, we'll go back to it. You look like you got something you want to say about it.
Yes, because it's like, okay. As when I was a little girl, I'm thinking of Prince Charming, right? You think of Prince Charming, you think of the well-respected man, a man in power, the man that's very, very romantic, the man that protects his woman, the man that's very considerate of his woman. So it's like that's what I still look for that in a man. I feel like whoever I end up being committed to for the rest of my life will be my Prince Charming. I still believe in that. I do. And I'm going to be his Cinderella.
Nothing wrong with that
You
at all.
give me my glass slipper.
No, listen. Hey,
You're still give me my glass slipper.
Just keep wearing your slipper. Just keep wearing your slipper and don't step
Keep wearing
on
my
no
one
hard
shoe.
Keep your one
Keep
shoe.
wearing my one shoe.
There you go. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Larry White Jr. says, "Don't no man want to deal with Jasmine ass."
See what I'm saying? We were just talking about that, Larry.
I feel a high valued man must be emotionally intelligent. I agree with that.
Absolutely. But I think it goes both ways, Ty. I think it goes, for the women and men. You have to be emotionally intelligent.
This is one right here. Alex says, can someone with a high body count be considered a high value woman?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. 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 That was her past. Maybe that was from years ago, her college years. Maybe that was from her college years, Larry.
She just got ran through like, hold up, what if she just got ran through like a tunnel this year?
Okay, it all depends. And now we're talking about so many different things and scenarios. Now, if she been ran through when she was at college, had her college 4 days, she graduated, changed, went to therapy, found the Lord, she's good. That was her past, and now she's totally different. Yes, you could become a high value woman. So you're telling me if all the things I listed on my list, right? You're telling me she's not going to be considered a high value woman because 25 years ago she was young and dumb.
But hold up, you putting 25 years on it. Kyle Starling, no, we don't have a number. It's the link. I posted the link up top, Kyle. So if you want to hit that link, come through. No, you say you putting a time limit on it. You saying 25 years ago. Hey.
Okay, say 10 years ago. Say 10 years ago, Larry.
I don't know.
Okay, boom. A man. Let's do a man because y'all look at it different when it's a woman. Okay, so let me say a man back in the day, college days, whatever, or his early 20s, mid 20s, even 30s. They say he's like 48 now. So back in the day,
Hold up, I'm 48, man. I feel like you trying to throw shade, right?
I'm just saying, no shade. I'm just saying, right? This is the scenario. Say a guy's 48 years old, back when he was in his 20s, early 30s, had fun, did his thing, but it turned to a new leaf. He's emotionally intelligent, he's stable, all the things that we listed, 2 weeks ago about this high value man. You're telling me because he did his thing 10, 15 years ago that now he's not considered a high value man because of what he did in the past?
That don't count.
Now with a woman, 48, 49, early 20s, did her thing, had a little fun. Now she's changed. She got, maybe a kid or two, CEO of a company, emotionally intelligent, all these things, all these good things that we just talked about, right? You're telling me she's not going to be considered. She's not considered to be a high value woman because of what she did 15 years ago.
Well, no, it's not so much what she did, but you know, the original comment was her body count. So if she got a high body count, I mean, here's the thing. I'm about to
then.
No, I'm about to
She
go
changed.
there. I'm about to go there. I'm about to go
Are
there.
you really, Larry?
Yes, ma'am. I'm about to go there because as a man, men, as we know, are hunters by nature. Men, hey, if you offer it, men are going to take it. That's just how the DNA, that's how men are wired. Women have the right and women have the control to not let the man conquer them. Now, this ain't me. I'm just telling you what it is. Look, I don't make the rules. I'm just reciting the rules. That's the way it is. So if a woman has had a high body count, she's had an umpteen amount of times to say, you know what? You ain't gonna hit. But if you done let yourself get ran through, I'm just saying.
So what about today though? Like, what if that was her past though, Larry? What if she went to therapy, healed, and she's like, okay, that my past is my past. I was different. I didn't know, but now I've changed. You're saying you are not allowed to be a high value woman because of the shit that you did back then?
No. If it's recent, and how
like
recent
if she's still allowing to be ran through, is what you're saying?
If she's still getting ran through, she ain't no high value woman.
Okay, I agree. We're on the same page. Now she stopped getting ran through.
There's an expiration date. There's an expiration date. In other words, it's almost like it's a probationary phase. Listen,
okay.
you can't be tossing it up. You can't be tossing it up, and then all of a sudden you're gonna decide, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna turn over a new leaf and I ain't gonna get smacked up, flipped, and rub it down. Oh no, like BBD no more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All my ladies. So basically what Larry and the other men are saying, you it has to be at least 5 years or more.
At least.
It has to be at least 5 years or more since you've been ran through.
Let me hit these chats right quick. Let me get, because it's getting wild up in here. Juan Manuel says we can't act like your past don't matter. Boom.
Right.
You got your own past just as much as your growth. There are things in your past that is still a part of you. You go to war and have a high body count of kills. Yep.
Okay, well, we put a number on it, Larry. Yeah, it has to be at least 5 years.
Fair enough.
It has to be at least 5 years until you're considered and you can get the crown of being a high value woman, ladies. You know, it has to be at least.
Kyle
Larry and the men said
it. Hey, Kyle Stalling, women, don't forget BS and we'll still hold on. That is true. Larry White, that's like saying Cassie is high value.
Hold on. Go back, Larry. Go back. So you're telling me. Please put that comment back on there, Larry.
I got you. Hold on.
I need him to get on this line. Larry, so you're saying that Cassie is not considered a high value woman because of what she did. What was that? 10 years ago?
Let me tell you something. If I was her husband,
that was an abusive relationship.
It wasn't no abusive. She knew what she was doing. She wanted to. I
don't think people realize though. You're dealing with one of like the most known man in the world. Right?
I will confirm right here with this next comment. Okay, Alex says, can we agree that Bonnie Blue is not a high value woman? But this comment right here by Mr. Dudley basically confirms that Cassie thing. The stain is still there.
So she never could be a high value woman anymore. Like
well, the thing about it is if you tuck it and lock it away, and I know it had to come out because of the testimony and everything in court, but can you imagine how her husband felt hearing all of that stuff?
That's the first thing I thought about. I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing I thought about.
Dude, if that's me,
yeah, I would have been so embarrassed.
I'm like, I'm done with you. Kyle Stalling, gorgeous, don't no man want, hey, gorgeous, I guess he's saying gorgeous not, don't no man want a known body count unless she's paid. DJ, the JJ rejuvenation fan. Oh, Lord have mercy. The chat don't never disappoint. The chat don't never disappoint.
Like but see, my whole thing is she was on drugs, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we should judge her completely. I mean, because when I heard all the stories that she had, you know, I was embarrassed for her. I was embarrassed for her. I was embarrassed for her. I kind of looked at Cassie totally different. I'm not gonna lie, I did. And I was just like, dang, like she was really, I don't know. I think with her husband, I think he might end up divorcing her eventually. But she's pregnant. She was pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant. And I'm pretty sure if he'd have known those details, he would have pulled out. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I mean, because I feel like this. Don't let me find out, and I get it. I know everything that's the past shouldn't be the past. But going into this situation, if you knew all of this stuff was going to come out for the world to see or to find out, have a conversation with me beforehand. Be like, look, babe, I need to talk to you.
She probably did. She probably did.
I hope she did. Because if he found out just like everybody else.
I doubt that she told him everything, though. I doubt it.
Kyle Stone says, he says he wasn't trying to be cute. He don't know your name. He wants to know your name.
My name is Shy, Kyle. Shy. You can't take her home to mama. Well, mama not going to know how many people ran through her. What is mama like? Come on, y'all.
Kyle, hit that link, Kyle. Kyle, hit that link. Come on up here live. Come on up here live. You got to
stop being so hard. Like, I get it, but it's like, you got some really good women out here that has the past.
Miss Katie got a nice point right here. Maybe Cassie's husband is high value because he can accept her, support her, and see her for the here and now.
Thank you.
Is it Mr. Alex says, is it misogynistic to consider high body count in women?
I'm not going to answer that one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Larry. Yes. Cassie's husband was a drug dealer. I ain't getting into that man business like that.
Don't put her out. She like that.
See? Miss T.
I agree. He definitely knew something, but not all of it. There's no way. Because the way that man walked out that courtroom, he was so embarrassed. I felt so bad for him.
And that's your confirmation right there. Yes.
No, but however, if women judge men the way that the men judge women, I promise you guys probably wouldn't even be in the relationships that y'all are in now.
But
right? Everybody has the past.
True that. But sis, here's the thing, and I mean this is an ugly truth here that I'm about to tell. Unfortunately, there is a double standard.
It definitely is.
That double standard exists, and I'm not saying it's right, but that double standard has places. A man's place is to do what he does. If a man in his former life was a hoe, it's got to be.
It's okay.
My wife will tell you right now, I used to be a hoe. She know I was a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
She done said it to me. She done said it to me multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And she's cool with it. But it's accepted. It's more widely accepted to know that men in their former single days or whatever were hoes. I mean, it is what it is. And it's taboo. It is going to be on the flip side. It's taboo if a woman is known. It's like this.
So do men even ask women these days like about their body count? Like, is that something that men do now?
I mean,
in these days, like, do they say, so how like a woman's really going to be honest with these men. Like half of these women are not going to be honest, especially if they've been ran through.
Right here.
Let's be real.
Right on point. Right. He
So you're not
answered your
even
question
gonna
right
know.
as you asked it. No, men don't want to know. You don't
So
want to know. You don't want to know. It was uncommon for men in the 1700s to wear wigs and makeup. There's a word, redemption. The past don't have to be a life sentence. Right on cue. There goes wife. So, hey, sis.
I need to come to New Orleans.
Yeah, y'all two get together, and the story she'll tell you about
Orleans.
me. Yeah, she'll have you laughing about some of the stuff, you know, because it's some stories. It's definitely some stories. But
yes,
I mean,
but that's crazy, y'all. Men, y'all. But that's why women. I'm telling you, these days the women is not going to probably be honest about what they did, and I think I don't even think men ask women that anymore.
She said, "Whenever you ready, she ready."
Yes, I want to. Well, yeah, I'll probably come down here like next month. Let's do something for next month, sis. We'll talk. But yeah, I just, it is. You get what you get these days. I feel like the picket is so small.
Alex,
not a lot of us left.
Look at this comment. Alex says,
was a sign of wealth many years ago.
Obesity was a sign of wealth many years ago.
What you talking about, Alex? What that have to do with high value women?
I'm thinking if I go back in time, I'm thinking about it's a lot of rich figures. I think that they were a little bit on the plump side, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Well-known rich, and they had women because their power and their money,
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss T says right here, I've never had a man ask my account. Well, yeah, because men don't want to know that. Men do not want to know that. They don't want to know that. That's just not something that a man wants to know.
Hold on. So honestly, have you ever asked a woman that before? And I bet you if they told you an answer, they said 5.
I plead the 5th.
Plead it. But I'm just saying though.
I have.
It's really going to tell you how many they've had.
I have. I could go back to my teenage days and then the dating phase. I have. And when they told me, I
didn't believe them.
No, I was out.
So they told you the truth.
Whether they told me the truth or not, but back
the number that they gave was just too much.
Like what, 90? I'm trying to think. 93, 94. I was on a date with a chick and we were talking. It was at Pizza Hut, and I asked her, and she told me like 6.
And how old was she? She was like in her 20s.
No, I was 17. We were in high school.
Oh, you said high school. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in high school. So
that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I finished eating, and
yeah,
I snuck out the back. I told her I was going to the bathroom, and I said, I'll be right back. And I snuck out and left. I left her ass there when she told me that. That was too much for me.
Dang.
We got our guest.
Yeah.
High school. We got a guest. Hold on. Let me get these comments. I'm going to bring our guests on. A true mature person or woman owns his or her own past is still a part of you. What you can do is say, look, I decided I value myself, become more exclusive, and take sex as a serious thing. I can respect that. D says, like, hell, we don't. Yeah. DJ, you can't be a high value woman if that honey pack slicing your soul while your kids in the other room playing Roblox wondering where their daddy is.
Oh my God, DJ.
And finally, before I bring on our guest, the reason we don't ask is because you don't ask a question you don't want to hear the answer to.
I agree.
That is true.
I agree.
That is true. Let me bring to the stage, man, one of our day ones from Utah, man. It's our first time on the show. It's first time on Real Talk. So, I mean, I want to see, how he's digging this. But it's our guy. You're going to like him. He's real cool people. He's down there in Lickaday. Wait, I'm going to let him tell the story. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, our brother, Mr. Kyle Stalling. What up, bro?
Hi, Kyle.
What's going on? What's going on? You hear me?
Right. Oh, we got you loud and clear.
Cheers.
Hey, I had to go fix me a drink. I had to go find my U-Talk shirt, man. You know, and then like a U-Talk shirt, right?
Hey. Yes, sir. What's up, bro?
Man, shit, you know, I was doing a little homework. You know, I'm taking a little sports management class right now this semester, so that's why I kind of missed a lot of the things. But I was just snoozing around on YouTube with all the little new latest stuff that's going on in the world with the guys in Atlanta. The guy got him and his mom going to jail. That's sad. And then the guy from the old Cosby Show. Our big brother. Back in the days.
Bro,
That
messed me up, dude. I ain't been right since I read it.
So I seen y'all commercial. I mean y'all backdrop. I said, damn, who the hell this is? And I look, and I turned on YouTube on the TV trying to catch some Kane stuff, and your thing pop. U-Talk pop. I said, wait a minute, U-Talk. Oh, okay, this Mr. Frank and it look pretty, the little gorgeous lady be with. I don't know her name.
Oh,
I'm like, okay,
Shy.
okay, Miss Shy. Oh, you don't talk like you Shy. But not what I was saying about the comment. What I was saying about the comment is that a lot of the kids, men, females and guys, because it's hitting on both sides. They ain't learning the same no more. You know what I'm saying? They're not learning the same. All that learn the right way. You learn that from your household.
Right.
To a point. Either you learn it from your mama, your dad, or you learn it from your auntie, your uncle. Yeah. Somebody within your immediate family, either them aunties or a big brother, big sister, somebody gonna show you what right look like. Everybody not gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
At least one person in the family gonna do it right. Either might be a male. You can learn from a daughter can learn from an uncle how he picked it, or vice versa. But that's what I meant by a lot of the men don't see the right way because they're not learning. They're not saying what right look like these days. Because we talked about this before, Frank. On your show many times. The last few years or so. Learn the right way was the 70s babies. The 80s babies kind of switched it up. They kind of changed the game a little bit. Then this 90s is a whole different level now.
So let me ask you something, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't walk into a whole different
I'm a 70s baby, so I'm cool. But when you said 80s baby, she starts playing.
Because I got a lot of cousins in them 80s.
Right.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you, because me and Larry was just discussing this. We was kind of going back and forth, and I just see a comment that just came on our page about Kim Kardashian and things like that, right? So my question to you: do you feel like a woman similar to like Kim Kardashian, or a woman that has a background, be it ran through, can they become a high value woman?
They got a high value count. Like I said with Frank, if she got that paper, don't no nigga give a damn. But if she a regular chick, and you a regular nigga, he may look at it like that. But if she look apart, I think a lot of guys will bypass that. But all depends on the guy's value too, because he gotta have some more for himself.
Case point, Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion got a high body count. Like, she messing with Klay Thompson right now, but she done had like 5 or 6 celebrities that we know of.
But you know what though, Frank,
she got money.
Frank, you know what though, Frank? Like I be telling some people sometimes, I can't get caught up in what the millionaires got going on because they live their whole different world from everybody else.
Right.
A broke nigga like me can't bounce around like that.
Kyle keeps it real.
A broke man can't bounce around like that. Look at your home team. He was a chick for 20 years. He get married. Larry Frank homeboy. He get married to her. The girl won divorce in 30 days. Your homeboy Frank from New Orleans.
What happened, Larry?
What are you talking about?
Birdman.
That ain't my homeboy. Don't put that on
Oh,
me.
I'm
Tony
saying he from New
Braxton,
Orleans.
man.
I mean, you from your home state.
Oh,
Yeah,
Birdman,
yeah.
Birdman.
Birdman.
Oh, but they
yeah,
got
yeah.
back together. They got back
Talking about
together.
Tony
They made it
Braxton.
work. Yeah.
I thought they got divorced.
No, they got they worked it out.
They on
That's
again,
good,
off again.
That's good because she's finna
That's
hit his
such a
pockets
weird-
real hard.
That
He
was
definitely
that's
finna
such
retire
a weird
her.
relationship. That was that she could have definitely did better. I don't know what's going on with Miss.
Because they
Tony
got
or
that
Tony.
money. That money.
But Tony could have dated anybody in the industry.
She coulda
Did
had
go to
me.
Birdman?
She could have had me.
Shoot, that was crazy. Like, and I think that Tony had kind of like, but I don't know. But yeah, that's crazy. So basically, okay, let me get this right, guys. So if you have a past, a bad past, but you have money, a man will overlook that because you have money.
Most guys would, but it all depends on his status, what he got going on. See, more mature, older men, as of our age, we can bypass that stuff. But if you talking about them guys in them 20s and 30s, they may look into that. They may look at that as a negative, more than likely. A more older, mature guy.
I think it's the opposite. I think
more mature guy can understand that he done been down the ropes already. He know people done stumbled here and people done stumbled there. People done been in situations that they have no choice. They ain't have a choice to be in.
Okay.
Especially a mother.
I can see that.
Especially a mother. Many mothers been tricked out and all kind of having guys run circles around and been tricked out trying to put keep food on the table. The next thing you know, she hit them late 40s and 50s. Now she done finally got tricked so many times. Now she done got a goddamn groove back. Now you can't tell her ass nothing now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's a whole different game when she get older, when she done been through them, when she went through the tribulation and gathered that wisdom on her own instead of somebody. She learned that wisdom on her own. She ain't no joke once she get it together.
Yeah.
Right.
I like him.
You got a point.
He does.
I'm singing right now. That's why I can kind of. I've been stabbing and jabbing a little bit. So I got an idea about that a little bit. Plus I've been around the circle a couple of times.
Let me ask you this. I gotta go back for like 2 weeks ago on our topic. Do you consider yourself a high value man?
Hell yeah.
But you say you was broke.
That's me particularly talking about. I done had a nice career. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I had a job in 10 years. I got everything I need. I'm retired. But hell,
okay.
I ain't gonna dummy down my status for nobody else.
Boom.
So you'll be able to provide for a woman?
If I needed to.
Okay.
But that ain't what I'm looking. But see, now you're talking about a whole nother conversation now. You're talking about a whole nother conversation because when you grown, that provide for a woman thing is a little different. Now I got a house, she ain't never got to pay no bills.
Okay.
I got that. We ain't got no little mini me's running around here.
Okay.
We ain't got to worry about that.
Okay.
I ain't got my kids dragging my pockets down. Now, baby, she might have that.
Okay.
That's something she might bring to the table. So that's a whole big thing. But we didn't have a talk off circle with that because one of your viewers might want to be checking me out, and I don't want to throw myself out there to the wolves like that.
Whoa. What can I say?
Hey, this is Utah Show, man. Just to show you keep it real, right?
This is real talk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This
You
is
see the shirt?
Yes.
yeah. The first of many expansions here on U-Talk, man. We ain't just doing the sports no more. We got this. We got me and D got the sports, the pro show coming out. We got the winning at the game of life, man. We doing it all. We covering all bases, bro.
Yeah, I see, man. I've been catching on. I've seen y'all a few times, except the notifications be killing y'all, man.
Yeah, YouTube be hating. They do that with everybody.
They
do.
be
hating, but I'll send you a text because I got you locked in. I'll send you a text every time. I'm gonna create a group chat with all of y'all. Send y'all a text with the link to the show. That way y'all don't miss it. What we like to do, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead on and put it up right quick for those that want to get all of the alerts. Let me find it right quick. I'm gonna put our emails up right there. Email y'all emails to either one of these email addresses down here. That way, if I don't have your number directly, and I can text y'all, I can at least send the link to your email, because YouTube is not gonna give y'all the notifications. Because I mean, the other night on UTalk, I think that was you said the other night on UTalk, you had missed the notification.
Man, I be missing all you know. I don't mind coming on talk some Hurricane football, but I don't get it until later on that night. I be like, damn, I done missed these dudes.
Yeah,
and I just replay it back.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Kyle, you got anything else before we let you get up out of here, bro?
I'm gonna sit back and listen, man, because I could this conversation I have right now, I can go deep with it, and I don't really want to. I really talk. I don't like to do too much internet talk like this.
I got you.
Because everybody don't
never know who's watching. You don't know who's watching.
Everybody don't interpret. I ain't worrying about my exes watching it, but I'm just saying everybody don't interpret the same way.
Right.
Some people just be on here. Some people just sometimes just throw comments out there just to throw it out there, see if it'll stick, just to keep conversation. There's nothing wrong with your content, but everybody's different. But I'm gonna keep listening out though. But I have to. But going back to what the question was with your show with the women, it's a different ball game now. Women are more like guys now.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm telling you,
more like guys. Guys got to almost damn they got to catch up now.
Yeah, they vicious. These human vicious out here now.
Right. But y'all take care though. I'm gonna keep sipping on this Glenlivet for y'all and make it through the night.
Appreciate you. Keep on watching, bro. We got some stuff coming up, so be on the lookout, bro.
I will. Y'all take care.
All right.
All right. Peace.
See you later.
That's our guy Kyle Stalling, man. One of the day ones right there, bro. One of the day ones. Yeah, man. You know what? I think we getting near the end of this thing, but I think he made a good point that women are vicious. Like women these days, y'all some savages, and the roles have reversed, because I think if you go back, I'm gonna go back to my younger days. Women were not as defensive and aggressive. Well, they weren't as defensive as they are now, and at the same time not as aggressive. In other words, if you came at a woman sideways, she wasn't as defensive as most women is today. And at the same time, women weren't that aggressive with men back then. Because I know, man, if a woman came at you aggressively, they caught you off guard. You ain't know how to act because you wasn't ready for that. You know?
It's because we tired, Larry. We got tired. These men been dragging and dogging us for years. Years. We got tired and fed up. Don't leave like that. Don't leave. We tired, Larry. I mean, it's just the truth. But I agree with you. You can't be a high value man if you don't have confidence or believe in yourself. Tell me what women see or respect a high value man if he doesn't believe or respect himself, even if he has money. But that goes both ways. You know, I don't know. I think like I was seeing something on Instagram. People are starting to date AIs now, and
that's ridiculous.
Getting married to AIs, all of that. Dating must be terrible if you got to date a computer.
That's just the world and going to hell in a handbasket. That's
emotional intelligence. Yeah, it is. That's where we are now in the world in today's society. We have to date computers.
Do men have the same ambition that women do? Why do women get more college degrees now? That's a good question.
That is a very interesting question. I think that is a very interesting question. I don't know. I think just I think men are getting more trades and things like that. They're not going to college as much, you know.
Yeah.
I think the way the generation is with the YouTube and the streamers and all that, things like that, I think they're trying to find other ways to get income rather than having a degree. Like now these days, you really don't have to have a degree to make thousands of dollars. Like, let's be honest, you know?
Right.
It's just not the same. They don't even require you to have a college degree anymore in these fields.
You can literally get into cybersecurity, and I've seen things where it's like couple of months of a course that you can take.
That's it.
And then when you
I mean,
finish, you're making
you
six
have a
figures.
six-figure easily.
Yeah,
Easily.
yeah.
So I think that, to answer your question, Katie, I think that's just because of the generation now. I don't even think it's a woman or man thing. I think it's really just the generation that we're in now, you know. So unfortunately, that's where we are. But all right, Larry, I think we had a good night tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
You know.
grab the gloves. I thought I had to grab the gloves, but I didn't have to grab the gloves, Larry. Y'all was.
You looked at them though. You looked at them a couple of times.
I split them close.
Yeah.
You know, I split them close definitely, but you know, y'all did good. We played it safe.
I was about to call you Clarissa Shields for a little while. I thought you was about to act like Clarissa.
I'm going to the fight this Friday. I'm going to see her on Saturday in Detroit. I want to go see Clarissa.
Wait, who's? Oh, she's fighting this weekend?
She's fighting in Detroit on Saturday. Me and cousin Nikia, we're going this weekend.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch it. Because I saw where she put the money up to fight Layla Ali. I was reading that yesterday.
Man, she will whoop her.
You saying Layla would whoop her or Clarissa would whoop her? I agree too.
She's probably her late 40s?
Yeah, Layla's around my age, 48, 49, and then she ain't boxed in a couple of years. So
come on now. I think that's just for publicity. If they do fight, it would be like the Mike Tyson situation with the young white boy,
with Jake Paul.
It'd be something like that just to get money. I mean, I don't feel like me coming from background of boxing and my family being in boxing. I just don't think that sport is what it is anymore. So I just think it's about popularity, you know, and entertainment rather than the skill and the science of actual boxing. Like, I feel like it's just not there anymore. So it just is what it is. But you know, I think with the women it's a little bit more with the skills, because they have to fight much harder to even get attention. A lot of people don't even know who Clarissa Shields is. And she is like the number one fighter in the world, female fighter in the world. And some people don't even know who she is, unfortunately.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't know who she was until a couple of years ago, about maybe 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
We wasn't watching women's boxing like that.
You know, I asked my uncle, I talked to my uncle about her, and he didn't know who she was.
For real?
I swear on everything alone. He was like, who? I said, Uncle Ryan.
Wow.
Both of my uncles, they were both in the car. We was on FaceTime. And I was like, I mentioned, I'm like, yeah, me and cousin about to go see the fight next Friday. They say, to see who? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, so that says a lot. But anywho, I think tonight was a great topic. I think that I'm gonna definitely have some conversation with some of my friends this week about this over dinner and drinks, because I just feel like where we are in today's society, even if you have a background, I think, like you said, now you say it has to be at least 5 years or more, right, Larry?
Right.
When they were running the streets like that, it has to at least be 5 years. And men don't even ask women about that anymore. I think that's just brushed under the rug. Okay, I got you. So
absolutely.
I got it. But I hope you guys do have a better understanding what a high value woman is. If some of my ladies want to know a little bit more or how to become a better high value woman, you can email me. Can you put the emails again, Larry?
I got you. Let me go to it right quick.
Or if some of the guys want to know what a high value woman is, you can also email me. I'll give you some pointers, send you my list on my notes, and maybe give you some references on how to become a better woman, ladies. So, and ladies and men, if you want to ask my brother Larry, he knows the answers too.
Email's right there. I'll do my best.
So make sure you hit us on the line.
Real quick before we sign out, I said I had an announcement to make, so I'm gonna go ahead on and drop the bomb right now. So, as y'all know, we have been doing the show every other Monday. Now we had some scheduling conflicts. We went to Atlanta and we had scheduling conflicts the last couple of weeks. I know I was bombarded with work. Shy had personal stuff going on, so that's why it took us a little while to come back. But August the 11th, we will be back. So it won't be, is that 2 weeks from tonight? No, that's 3 weeks. We'll be back on August the 11th. It's 3 weeks, correct?
Yes, that's 3
Yeah,
weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. When we come back August the 11th, that will be the first of weekly shows. So instead of going every 2 weeks, we coming at y'all every Monday. We're going to come at y'all a little bit more. We're going to have same type of gritty, raw topics. We're going to political stuff, cultural stuff, relationship stuff. Just real talk. We talk about it all. So pass the word and lock in, because we will be back. And when we come back, y'all might as well get used to these two faces, because we're going to flood it. We're going to flood it. We're going to definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
This
It's
is
just
the
getting
beginning.
started.
Just
Love
getting
it.
started. Just getting started. But we're going to go ahead on and put a bow on this thing. Sis, thank you so much again for bringing the heat as you always do. And,
Thank you.
you know, August 11th. Oh, safe flights. And I know you ain't flying Frontier up there. I had to get that in. I'm sorry.
Listen, guys. Sorry, just to say this. I sent so many emails. Like, I would never, guys. Please. That's another day.
My wife told me about Frontier. She said that's one airline you never fly, and she's a flying connoisseur. And I told Devin, when he was telling me what was going on with you, I told him you need to leave as many bad reviews as much as you could. Yeah, let them know, because
it's terrible.
We got lucky, because when I got in Atlanta, I got there before the power outages. I got there at like 8:30, 9 o'clock that morning. I think everything started happening after the fact. But
I should have just drove. That's what I should have did. It was crazy. But now I know next time.
You know, next
I like
time.
Delta.
That's all that matters.
American Airlines. Yeah, I like it's Southwest. Those are 3 I like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yep. Real quick.
Now
Appreciate you. Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Katie said she loved the show. Hold on, let me put this back up.
Oh, we love you too, Katie. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Katie.
Oh yeah. And appreciate you, Wani, man. Thank you so much. So we are going to get out of here. We want to wish y'all a good week.
Yes.
And y'all be safe. And y'all know how we start every show. Y'all know how we end every show. It ain't no us
without you, baby.
Oh yeah.
We love you guys.
Much love to y'all.
Oh, and let me say this, guys. If you're a high value woman looking for a high value man or the opposite, you can always shoot us something in the email. We could try to find you some play matchmaker. You just never know. You know, we got some viewers out here that's looking for high value men and women. So
we definitely got some options on the Utah side. I know some of them brothers that be popping in on Friday nights. Yeah.
We'll see. I think I might check y'all out this Friday. I might pop in and do a little surprise visit.
Well, Friday is my anniversary, so we're not running. Yeah, Friday's my anniversary. 27.
Why didn't you say anything? I might see y'all. You gotta shoot me your address so I can send y'all something for y'all anniversary. You say you're going to the cruise, right?
Yeah, we're leaving Sunday to go on the cruise.
You didn't mention a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna send y'all something, a gift from me and nephew for y'all anniversary, all right?
Appreciate that.
All right, I got you.
Yep, most definitely. So we out, man. Y'all be blessed. Y'all know what it is. It's real talk.
Real talk, y'all. Peace.
From the heart of the city to the edge of the world, telling stories of black kings and queens.
It's Utah, baby.
Every topic, every voice, like a new kind of pearl. Shining light on truths to make the future swirl. It's real talk, baby. El Frank and Shy Blue coming through, baby. Real topics, real stuff for the people, baby. Buckle up and let's roll with real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. It's real talk, baby. And it ain't no me without you, baby. It's you talk.
It's you talk, baby.
Kings and queens, but both in a fur.